myself, and that little boy did not start by using crack yesterday. He was groomed for crack by upsetting his hormonal flow, interfering with his energy and his nervous system. So he was the prime candidate for for crack and cocaine. Of course, and alcohol. What you mean? When I drink alcohol, you get a boost, you know. You get stimulated. But isn't this what food's supposed to do? To keep you boosted and healthy, where you don't need no crack and no alcohol. All you need is some water and some good loving. And give some. And it makes things very easy. Very, very easy. Understanding. In our next lecture, we will take it further because we are preparing a sequence of lectures now. Because in one evening we could not, embrace or try to grasp too much material because we just don't have the capacity. I find myself talking too long sometimes because I like to talk about this because it's easy for me. The reason why the herbs cure, because they contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Isn't this the basic structure of the human body? Meaning that there is similarity. They call that chemical affinity. Chemical affinity means it's one and the same, alike. They come together, and then assimilation takes place into production. So the thing that we've been eating, we are lucky, we are alive, and we're sitting in here today. And I'm enjoying this because we're pleasant. But the answer is love. But for love to enter, we have to eat the food that is consistent with this machine. It's only mean harmony. That's all it means. We go into a whole lot of hormonal flow and that, biochemical analysis. I could break it down into carbonates, iodides, bromides, phosphates. That doesn't mean anything. The bottom line is, are you doing the right thing? Yeah, okay, treat me. Like the man told me in Mexico. You say you could cure cancer, but I got cancer. You can cure me. It wasn't how and why do I have to trust you, and I don't really, that there's doubts in your head. That because someone says that they cure AIDS and you doubt them, you know what I'm saying for you? That you live a lie. Because if you live truth, whatever anyone tells you, you believe it. Because you live truth. And you would never expect a lie from anyone. See, we live truth. So don't believe that when people make statements and you stand here and say, I don't believe you, that you're getting away. No, you just made yourself a fool. You just showed the world that you are the liar. Why should you even entertain that this person is telling a lie? Why would you do that? Well, I don't know, but I just don't trust him. Well, why? You see, if the person is lying, that's okay. They have to live that karma, right? Not you, but you placing yourself in the position of the liar when you deny that individual based on an assumption. No. Let us put forth understanding and common sense. Because really, we need you, and you need us. I need everybody in this room. Because I need your love, and you need mine. And as more of this we have, wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be safer? It's not about challenging me. No. Yes, the Usha Institute is proud to say that we cure all these diseases. Sister Dorothea was in the audience when a lady stood up and said that her diabetes had left, and that's the one I mentioned last night to the gentleman. How could this compound be so good for one person and so many, and yet for one it's going to be so bad? That just doesn't make sense. But he was against it from the beginning, if you remember the program, when he said it last night on the air. He was against him. He said he was against his family taking these herbs. Yet the Bible said the herbs are for the healing of the nations. When he said that he was against his family taking the herbs, who was he really against? God. That's exactly right. But it was not his fault, because I love that man. And I hope that that man called me again. And I hope that I see that man. And I wanted to talk to that man again, although he was angry at me. But doesn't he have a right to be angry? Look at the stuff we've been eating. Look at the stuff we've been fed. He has a right to be angry. There's reason. But we don't want that this evening. questions, to be direct, sure. And I know the answer's gonna baffle you sometimes, but that's okay. I'm not gonna sit in front of you and tell you a whole bunch of lies, because it doesn't help me. So thank you very much. That was your lecture. There's a field of question and answer. And this is where the meeting really began, with the questions and the answers. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm taking the herbs from Big Tree.
Yes.
But I'm having a difficult time weaning myself off of these other foods.
Well, that's what we just explained. This is why Sister Chandra's here this evening, to show you the new food. And I forgot to mention that. Sister Chandra is here to demonstrate a new cuisine. A cuisine that will gradually remove you from the one that was pushed on you, pushed on us, and became so habitual. I know. I have the same problem. When I go to Honduras and my aunt cooked fried fish, oh, I like to go around and just smell it. Because I remember the evening when I used to eat fried fish, fresh fried fish from the ocean. But now all I could do is smell it. And my aunt would say, but aren't you going to eat some? No, I'm not going to eat stuff. I love meat too much. Believe me, I don't want to suffer no pain. So I do not eat it. But I have 26 years of trial and error, or of weaning. And still have not weaned all, but weaned enough to keep me healthy without any disease now. So what we will do, we're opening a center here in Chicago. And monthly, we would have, you know, like gatherings or weekly gatherings, showing how to prepare the new food. Taste it, because taste is what you're looking for. Because if I remove you from the food that your mama used to cook for you, well, you're not going to smell those spices and taste that taste, and you're going to soon throw this other stuff away, even though it is good and it's not your fault. So what we have done is to take the least of the harmful things, or the non-harmful, and prepare them in such a way that they would have the taste, and sometimes even better. That it would encourage you to make that transition. Sure, I understand what you're saying, and you're right. That's why Chandra's here today. Next question. Yes.
You mentioned fibroid tumors. Can you elaborate a little bit in terms of where those come from? I know you talked about mucus and stuff. What one can do in addition to the herbs to try.
You remember Dorothea? I mean, my sister-in-law.
Oh.
You look just like her. And you talk like her, ask questions just like her. You answer the question I read, and that's what Dorothea always do to me. Okay. She said, Sebi, what about insanity? I heard you talk about mucus, but is that true? But you did. Sure, fibroid tumors is when the mucous membrane has been broken down into reproductive organs. And it begin to accumulate small, little balls they can't see anything. And when they see them, oh, they're fibroids. And then the fibroids get bigger. And then they burst, become cancer. But it begin with what? Thank you. The wrong food that you've been eating. And I had an example of that in Dominica. And the lady told me to always call her name, Ophelia Olivaci. She said to mention this, not to be ashamed to mention her name. Ophelia came to me and she had tumors and vaginal discharge profusely. And the whole other bit, and she said, you know, that she's been to doctors, gynecologists, OB-GYN, and the whole bit. She's been to France. This is in Dominica now, in West Indies. And I told her I gave her the compounds and the douches, and after about a month or so, she was walking around without any panties. Her vagina was dry, and she was happy. In fact, she even showed it to me, so I could see. And she walked around without no panties. And guess what happened? This was the strangest thing that I was told this by someone, and I put it into motion this particular day. I said to her, I want you to have sex with your husband now. She had not had sex in about a month and a half. I said, have sex with Mark, and she did. And when she had sex with Mark, 2 days later, her vagina was dripping. I mean like a faucet. Now why? If I had cleansed her vagina, how come it's dripping now? You know why? It was draining down like a faucet. Because we learned that